Welcome back to another Reviews, a little show where we like coping about reviews. A subsidy of the Tuna Can Incorporated. It's like mini Coke, still Coke, just smaller. And today's film is the newest, best horror film of all time, or at least of this decade, specifically in the year 2026, of January, on the 30th. Yeah, the best movie of
9:15!
From everyone's favorite scrappy director, Sam Raimi, who you may know. I specifically met the guy at my niece's quinceañera, was just kind of standing around asking for free drinks, thought he was homeless. But for today's movie, we are talking, of course, about the newest movie, Sin to Hell. The film that stars Rachel McAdams as Linda Little, the lovable, dorky loser who is absolutely obsessed with survival, and the gay guy, emphasis on gay, from Teen Wolf, as the asshole boss we've all had, except for my girlfriend, who's had it easy since 2009. Join Linda Little and Mr. Bradley Preston as they are marooned in this bureaucratic nightmare when after a sudden unexpected trip to one of the countries that's not America goes incredibly wrong, starting with the crew and passengers making an unexpected discovery, Linda Little's Survivor audition tape. With them laughing at her stupid face, she makes the questionable, morally unethical decision of deleting a very important company file that could put the multi-million-dollar business in financial ruin, with slaps on the wrists and fees, or at the very most, cause them to lose hundreds of dollars. Should Linda have deleted the file, or kept the file? Oh, also the plane crashes, causing the entire crew to be killed in the process, except for, of course, Linda and Mr. Preston, who now have to unexpectedly re-examine not only their professional relationship, but also their personal one.
We're not in the office anymore, Bradley.
As Linda's talents as a survivalist clash with Bradley's lack thereof. Who will win this deadly game of cat and mouse? Slave and massa, boss and worker. But who's whom? That is the question, and will cause the audience watching to feel as though they may need to send help. First off, just want to say that it's great to see the master of corny horror come back with another banger. And honestly, it's absolutely astonishing that he hasn't made a movie in 17 years. What a hiatus. This movie feels as though he never left in the first place, dishing up what he does best. Cartoon horror with morally ambiguous protagonists, giving his signature blend once again in the form of quick direction, effortless humor, and
soaking wet shirts on braless females.
Aside from Sam Raimi, I would be absolutely remiss to not mention how great our two leads are. Rachel McAdams, especially, is fantastic at playing a psycho crazy person who you can somehow completely empathize with. At first, I'll admit, I was a little worried she'd be too attractive to play the role of gross, ugly, gross nerd, but luckily, they uglied her up with a couple of well-placed, disgusting moles. And I mean, these moles are atrocious, horrendous even. But even without them, she still does come across as a dorky, affable weirdo who kinda smells
noxious odors.
Yum.
Her unhinged persona is completely sold by the end of the film, but not so much to where you hate her. In fact, she still manages to keep that part of her character grounded in reality and care. On the complete polar opposite side of the spectrum, we have Dylan O'Brien Where Art Thou's Bradley Preston, a character whose only appropriate descriptor would be as he is Linda Little's new boss, the foil to her happiness at her job, besides the rest of the co-workers. In some ways, the catalyst to the story, replacing the top brass at the company Linda works at.
Father promised her a promotion.
Did he?
O'Brien masterfully takes on the role of entitled boss through extinguishing the fire of good work ethic, denying Linda's previously promised position and belittling her at every turn. A complete 180 for O'Brien to see him successfully take on a role so unlikable that, by the end, even though you spent 100 minutes of watching him be tortured, suffer, and mutilated, you still kinda hope for his death. Of course, though he is playing a somewhat annoying asshole for most of the film, he does still manage to bring human emotions to the surface, causing the smallest nugget of sympathy to form from the audience, only for it to roll back down on top of him through his arrogance. Sure, bad things do happen, and he is human, but he still sucks. Now, these two's relationship is the core of the movie's momentum, but their dichotomy also allows for Raimi's ability to mess with the tone of the film every chance he can. Raimi's not normally known for subtlety, but I can't shake the feeling that he's able to convey the meaning of the story in a strangely nuanced way.
No one does it as well as me.
The bulk of the analysis on the film that I've seen seems to be smitten with the idea that the narrative is a heavy-handed look into the power dynamic between females and males, possibly possibly even going into the gay, boring topic of the nepotism conversation. Very interesting. However, I think or believe that's doing the film a disservice, as that's merely the springboard, the jumping off point for the picture's true intentions. Sam, we're on first name basis, doesn't nearly seem to be as concerned with the idea of sexism as much as he is with examining the victim complex, as Linda Little is far from a good person by the end of the film. In fact, she's worse than the sexist pigs in the movies. Of course, I do have a penis, so what do I know? But she literally betrays the typical idea of being a good person, something that Sam Raimi's filmography tends to take quite seriously, typically resulting in a character's selfish actions being their eventual undoing.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
But by the end of this movie, Linda is given everything that she wants. As in a bold move, Sindhelp has Linda kill not only our secondary character, but also his completely innocent girlfriend, an Indian gas station attendant.
Do you have a reward card, sir?
Even if you think he was an irredeemable douchebag, his worst sin was mildly drugging her and being a little rude. Again, all the descriptors of his character can be consolidated into 3 words.
Big old meaning.
He receives the death of himself and his loved ones. She receives an entire company, a book deal, and the adulation of millions. And how does the film end? It has her look straight into the lens of the camera, daring the audience to question her. The movie goes through great lengths in the first act to show how pitiful her life is due to her job, how mistreated and abused, well, verbally. They call her stinky.
Noxious odors.
And honestly, is there anything worse for a woman to have to go through? By the end of the movie, we are now shown her on top, with the world at her fingertips, her female fingertips, but still insecure with her place in it. Asking the question, did she get what she deserves, or did he? Not even the serious damage Mr. Preston inflicts leaves a mark, and she gets away with it. May I remind you, she didn't even want to leave the island.
I don't think we should ever leave here.
She selfishly chose to stay, to become the judge, jury, and executioner. And we, the audience, are supposed to be sympathetic towards her plight? I don't think so. All due to her having the superficial qualities that make her what society deems a good person. Is that not the greatest horror of all? Anyways, my name is Seth, and I'm moving out of my parents' house soon. I have a lot of disabilities right now, and I could really use some money. Not for rent or actually, my disabilities. I'm getting government subsidies for that one. I actually just keep buying Switch 2s. So if you could help me get my 11th Switch 2, that would be absolutely superb. We actually have a GoFundMe right now. Get Seth's 11th Switch 2. I had to set it up myself. My parents are refusing to help me. Donate to that. Donate to my blog spot. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.